A very happy morning to all of you children. Welcome to the science class. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves back at home. Children, in today's class, we will go ahead and summarize our chapter 10, that's friction. So in this chapter, we did go ahead and define what is friction. Friction can be defined as the contact force which opposes the motion of an object. It slows things down or prevents them from moving. Two of the properties that we have studied about friction is that friction always opposes motion, and second property states that friction produces heat. Do we all know why is actually friction caused, or what is the reason behind friction? Children, we all know very well that when the surfaces of any two objects are in contact, there are tiny hills and grooves that actually interlock with each other, and that's what opposes the motion of the body, and that's what is actually friction. The factors which actually friction depends on is nature of the surface in contact and mass of objects in contact. Now, friction can be of three types. It can be static friction, sliding friction, or rolling friction. Static friction is the frictional force, children, that exists between two bodies so long as they are relatively at rest, even though an external force is acting upon them. Static force opposes the motion of the body. It is the opposing force that comes into play when one body tends to move over the surface of another, but actual movement has not started. The second type of friction, that is sliding friction, it can be defined as the force of friction acting between two bodies when they slide on one another with a uniform speed. Example of sliding friction can be skiing, where the ski actually slides over the ice. When an object starts sliding, the contact points on its surface do not get enough time to lock into the contact points on the floor. So sliding friction is slightly smaller than static friction. The third type of friction, that is rolling friction, is the force of friction that exists between two surfaces when a body rolls over the other body. Yes, the best example we can give is the rollers present on your suitcases. When the suitcases are moved, because of the rollers that are present, the heavy suitcase are easily moved, right? So rolling friction also rolling actually reduces friction here. That is why it is easy to move a heavy box when it is fitted with wheels. This was about the friction in solid things. Now when we talk about liquid and gases, children, the frictional force exerted by liquid and gases is actually called as fluid friction. Fluid is a term which we use for both liquid and gases. This fluid friction is also called as drag. Some of the fluid friction is minimum for the objects that are narrow in front and broad at the back. Also, the fluid friction depends upon the shape, material, and speed of the object. As I mentioned that fluid friction is minimum for the objects that are narrow in front and broad at the back. What is this kind of shape called as, children? Student, this shape that is narrow in front and broad at the back is called as streamlined shape. Streamlining reduces fluid friction and thus enabling the object to pass through easily. Some of the common examples that we see in our day-to-day lives are aeroplanes, body structure of the birds, Then boats are some of the live examples that we see and are narrow at the in the front and broad at the back. The reason they are given a streamlined shape so that they experience less friction. Now moving on to the next topic, that is advantages of friction. Children, till now we have seen many examples, or I have quoted many examples in the Zoom classes. So from this we understand that friction is a necessary evil. The reason we call it as a necessary evil, that's because friction has multiple uses and at the same time it also have certain disadvantages. So we will just go ahead and see through the advantages or how friction is useful to us, as well as we will see what are the other drawbacks or disadvantages associated with friction. Friction between our feet or footwear and the ground help us to walk without slipping. That is why it is difficult to walk on ice or on a smooth polished floor. Then friction between the treaded tires that we see on the road and the rough surface of the road enables vehicle to move safely on the road. That is why we observe more incidents of vehicles skidding on greasy or wet roads on rainy days. Then friction between the brake shoe and the wheel slows down or stops a moving vehicle. Friction also helps us to write. Friction between a pencil or a pen and paper help us to write. That is why we find it difficult to write on smooth surfaces like plastic or glass. The other example where we can see friction being useful to us could be lighting a matchstick, sewing clothes, tying a knot, or fixing a nail on the wall. These are some of the examples where friction is very much necessary and helpful for us. But at the same time, we also have certain disadvantages of friction, like friction wears out the rubbing surfaces like screws and ball bearings of machines or soles of shoes. When the object is in contact, require more force to overcome friction between their rubbing surfaces. Thus, this results in wastage of energy. Also, we know that friction generates or produces heat. This heat raises the temperature of a machine, sometimes causing damage to its part. So, this is another disadvantage of friction. So, in order to overcome this disadvantage, proper arrangements have to be made to keep the machine cool. And insulation of windings of machine like mixer grinders, hair dryers, etc. is being done so that spoiling of these machine parts is avoided due to friction. So these were certain disadvantages of friction. Looking at the advantages and disadvantages, that's why we say that it is a necessary evil. Now children, there are multiple ways by which we can actually go ahead and increase friction. Some of the common ways by which the friction can be increased is making the surface rough. The surface of a body can be made rough so that it increases the friction. Like treaded tires of vehicles have designs and patterns with grooves on their surface to increase the resistance with the road, and this actually prevents skidding. Also, the soles of our shoes are made with grooves to make a good grip on the ground. Second method by which the friction can be increased is making the surface dry. Sand and gravel is thrown on slippery ground during rainy season to increase friction. Also, you would have seen that kabaddi players rub their hands with soil for a better grip for their opponents. But they are basically drying the surface. That's because their hands sweat and by rubbing the sand they are making their palm rough and thus increasing the friction. Also, by using brake pads in case of vehicles, we can increase friction by using brake pads in the brake system. That helps to increase the friction. Now, how do we go ahead and reduce the friction? Yes, so in some situations friction is not actually required and we need to minimize them, like the example which I gave you, where the heat is produced because of the friction. Now that so produced heat actually damages the machine parts, so we can go ahead and minimize the friction by polishing the surface. We polish the rubbing surfaces so that friction can be reduced. Also, the surface can be lubricated. A common way to reduce friction is by applying a lubricant such as oil, water or grease. The third way by which friction can be reduced is by using wheels and ball bearings. It is easier to roll an object than to slide it. We all know that rolling friction is lesser than the sliding friction. So, by using wheels and ball bearings, we convert sliding friction into rolling friction. Thus, we are able to minimize the friction and we can easily move the objects. That will help us to save energy, effort, and time. Also, friction can be reduced by streamlining the shape of the bodies. We streamline the shape of the boats, ships, vehicles, aeroplanes, rockets, etc. to reduce the fluid drag. So, these were the methods by which friction can be reduced. So, in this chapter, children, we have defined friction, we have studied about types of friction. Also, we have studied about the advantages and disadvantages of friction that help us to understand that why friction is a necessary evil. So, please read through the textbook, that's very important, and watch the video. We have also sent you earlier YouTube links for your better understanding, and you still have, if you still have some queries or doubts, we can discuss that in the Zoom class. So enjoy e-learning. Thank you.